Hello, today we're going to talk about solving equations with radicals. Radicals would also include anything that could be written as a fractional exponent, so we might see that in our next video. We'll deal with something that is a fourth root. We'll write it as a 1/4 power and solve it that way instead. Really can work either way. In this example, we're going to look at something with a simple square root and see how that works. We have 4 steps that we want to complete to solve any kind of equation that has a radical in it. And the first step is going to be to isolate the radical. It's very important to isolate the radical. If you don't get the radical by itself, when you get down to this next step and you start squaring both sides, you're not going to get rid of the radical. After you isolate the radical, you want to raise both sides of the equation to a power that will cancel, and it's very important that it's the right power. Okay, if you're dealing with a square root, you're going to square both sides. If you are dealing with a cube root, you are going to cube both sides. Fourth root, you're going to raise both sides to the 4th power. I think you understand. Okay, after you do that, at least in these examples that we have today that only have one radical in them, you will then go and solve your new equation. Your new equation is not going to have any radicals, so you're going to be able to use all your old skills and abilities that you have learned over time to solve the equation. And last but certainly not least, especially in this lesson, is you are going to check your solutions. Why are we going to check? Well, we always check our solutions, but in this case, extraneous solutions can occur. What's an extraneous solution? Extraneous solution is any extra solution that can occur, doesn't necessarily occur, but can occur when multiplying both sides of an equation by a variable. Now, technically, we are squaring both sides. Well, since one of those things has a variable in it that we are squaring, it's possible that we could create solutions that aren't actually there, okay? You can see solutions in parentheses. There's solutions when we solve the new equation that we got, but they may not have been solutions to our original equation. All right, so we always want to go back and check. With that in mind, let's solve this equation. Our first step is going to be to get that square root by itself, so we're going to add this 2 to both sides and get the square root of 2x plus 8 all alone, isolated, all by itself. Why are we going to do that? Because we're going to come back now and square both sides. You'll see in the other video that we wrote that as a fractional exponent. It can work either way. When you square a square root, you are left with what was underneath the radical. Okay? And we now have a 2x plus an 8 equals our 16. You can see our new equation, or the equation as we have manipulated it to become, no longer has any square roots in it, and we can start the solving or finish the solving process from there. And we can find out that x equals 4. Well, the good news is we came up with only one solution, so it's probably our right solution, but we should go and check that. So let's go check that solution. We're going to plug it into 2 times 4 plus 8, all underneath a square root, minus a 2. We want to make sure that equals 2. 2 times 4 is 8. And from there we should get a 16. And our 16, our square root of 16 is going to be a 4. And our 4 minus 2 is 2. So our answer checks out and it is correct. Now, keep in mind as we're dealing with these earlier examples in today's homework, you may not find too many extraneous solutions, but I want you to get into the habit of checking for those. All right? I hope this is helpful, and I look forward to seeing how you can do.